Welcome to my channel, everyone. It's Sarah Grace Lee, and this is my first official video that I'm making specifically for my YouTube channel. More to come, so please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with as many people as you can. You can also join me on Instagram. It's at sarahgrace.lee. I will be talking about all kinds of things here: travel, fashion, art. We cover all of that, but today we'll be having a video, a Zoom call with Drea, and we'll be talking about what it's like to live in California. We'll be asking questions you might want to know about what it's like to live here, and maybe even questions that you have for US citizens in general. We've gotten these questions from other people, Instagram, online, all of that fun stuff. I hope you enjoy, and right now we're just waiting for a Zoom call, so stay tuned. Ooh, small note. Before we get started on asking all these fun questions, I have to say that I was actually born and raised in the Philippines, and I came to the US when I was about 16 years old. I am now a US citizen. Yay! And I've traveled a lot, lived in a lot of different states for my art and for my work. I'm actually new in California, so I live sort of an eccentric lifestyle, a little bit different. I might not necessarily represent everyone's views out there. I'm just here to provide a unique perspective, if you might say, and I would love to get to know your thoughts, what you guys think, especially if you live in California. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear that plane flying. A lot of planes come in and out. Hello, Drea!
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Everyone, say hi from my perspective. Drea right there. How are you?
All right, so the first question is, do people really drive everywhere living in California?
I think that's pretty safe to say that most people drive everywhere. It is a more spread out layout in California than other states that I've lived in personally. I do think that there is a little bit of transportation inside downtown and the city that people might not necessarily know about. It's not very popular, not like in New York or, you know, DC or any of that, but definitely most people drive.
Yeah, I mean, for me as well, like, I feel like I've been told so many times that you have to have a car in California, otherwise it's gonna be hard to get around. It's either just having a car and driving or an Uber. Like, I don't know, like, I know you live like in LA, and I don't know how you drive places because it's pretty terrible.
It is. I have so many horror stories, accidents, even drunk drivers just crashing into my car while it's parked. So big note, if you live downtown, parking is horrible. The horrible situation for parking if you live in the city downtown itself. But LA County, where there's like more suburban, I guess, they do have personal parking and it's not as bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not as bad. And I mean, I've mentioned this, I think I've mentioned this to you as well. Like, I worked in EMS, so I've driven an ambulance in LA and in Orange County, and it's so terrible. Every time I've had to go to LA, I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, why are people like on the wrong side of the road? Like, what's going on? So second question, I'll just go through them real quick. Have you ever actually met a famous person?
Yes, I've done small gigs where I've done background, I've done modeling stuff, short films, indie films, all of that. So yeah, I have met a few famous people, but actually my most memorable one was meeting Bruce Willis in Philadelphia. So yeah, and he like even, you know, really was, I think he was like flirting a little bit and was a little drunk at that time. So that was why it was like super memorable, and then he just like handed me $100. I was like, okay. So that was actually my most memorable one.
So next question, is it true, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Is it true Americans almost never take a vacation?
I don't know. I take lots of vacations, you guys. I really think it depends what you do. I think it depends on your job. Like, especially nowadays, this generation, they love to travel. They don't want to get just a regular job. A lot of people don't. So I think it depends on what your industry is. I definitely love to travel, so it definitely takes sacrifice to travel a lot. So it really depends on what your priorities are. I know that in my family, we love to travel, even if it's small. Sometimes it's just a road trip, but that's still travel, you know?
Why do Americans move so much? Why do you think?
Like, do you mean move houses?
I guess so. I'm not so sure actually. I mean, my whole take on it is because it's expensive. Well, in California in particular, it's expensive. So it's like you can't really like buy a house most of the time, especially if you're young. A lot of people rent, so they go all over the place. But that's personal experience again. And also it's just so many places to see. But yeah.
Right. I feel like one answer to that is chasing the American dream. I think a lot of Americans just want more and more and more, whereas like coming from another country, you stay where your family is. And I think family traditions and units are generally stronger with other traditions, whereas Americans are all about like their careers and all that, so they go where there's opportunity. It's a land of opportunity, which is another reason why people move a lot, is to go where the jobs are. That's a big note. And then again, like what Drea said, rent is another reason why we move all the time, because you know, you're trying to adjust your lifestyle and your budget at the same time. Okay, my turn to ask questions, you guys. Does it help to speak Spanish?
Yes. In very Southern California, yes, for sure. I've definitely been to so many restaurants where they only speak Spanish, but then again, my mom's from Mexico, so I understand it, and working with patients and everything, I've met plenty of patients that only speak Spanish, so it definitely does help.
Right, I agree. Like learning another language always is a positive. Okay, next one. Is it easy to maintain a healthy diet in California? Ooh, that's an interesting one.
I think it's expensive. And I think I wrote that in the notes. Like, it's easier than other states. Like for example, I can't have any milk in my diet. Like I'm super allergic. And it's so much easier to find vegan stuff in California than it is in other states, at least what I've seen in some particular other states, just because it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's a lot of more people have different diets in California, and there's so many people, to the point where it's like easier to find just different things in general. But I think it's really expensive to do so anywhere. Okay, so we'll go on to the third link. There's only a couple more, and then we'll go to the Instagram questions. I didn't get very many. So the third link, do you agree? Again, homelessness is on our doorstep.
Yes. I mean, I've been to a lot of really poor places as well, different countries, and I still think there's more help and more opportunity here in the US, but for how rich California is in general, the average, I think, I personally think there's too much homelessness. Definitely we need to improve, we need to make changes. It's really scary that there are streets that look like a third world country. I will say that.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually watching a video not too long ago, and they were doing Google Maps of parts of LA. They're like, this is the picture. I don't remember how many years ago, like 4 years ago, let's say. And then they take the picture again, and it's just like you see so many tents and everything. And it's really sad, and it's like, I don't want to get too political, but like it's definitely something that needs to be solved one way or another. Okay, now on to a happier note. In-N-Out Burger is the best fast food restaurant, period.
So I have relatives who love In-N-Out Burger. I think it's really good. I don't know if it's my top favorite. I find that people have a really strong reaction to it. They either love it and are so angry if they think that you don't like, or if they find out that you're not a fan, or they're like, ew. So I've seen people with both, perspectives or both reviews about it. I personally think it's fun to add in to my day, to make it fun. Like I like to have it when I'm on a road trip, just to, spice up my life a little bit. It definitely has a different taste to it.
So, third one, fog is everywhere and it can be dangerous.
I, again, think it depends where you are in California. Northern California, for sure. I think it's the mix of cold air coming from the north and hot air coming from the south. Definitely in San Francisco, there was a lot of fog, like all the time. I didn't like it. But in Los Angeles County, it's actually, I haven't had really bad fog or anything like that, personally.
Okay, so let's go on to Instagram questions. So someone wants to know the weather, culture, food, and the actual area. I'm not so sure what they mean about that by that. Like, I guess where we're from, but we already kind of said that. So what do you think the weather's like where you're at, and the culture and food?
Weather, I mean, compared to other places, it's like heaven to me. I love the weather here. I really appreciate, again, I love the sun and the warmth. It definitely stays warmer here than in other states, even during like the colder seasons. It's colder way shorter part of the year. Weather-wise, I would say it's close to perfect. We have really, I guess, lukewarm. Usually it gets a little cold in the mornings at night and at night for some seasons, but really not that bad. And the other thing is the humidity is really not that bad. So whereas in the Philippines, the tropics, it was hot also, but humid, it just definitely has a different feel in California that even if it's warm, it's not like overly humid.
I feel like it's so nice along the coast. Like the weather is amazing. The further inland you get, the hotter it gets, at least what I've seen. Like you actually see the desert. You can actually see that. But I think it's really nice. It's really perfect. Like again, like you don't have the issues where it's like, oh my gosh, it's snowing and then you can't drive your car, or like I just had an issue with my car battery to not starting because it was so cold. So I like have to still deal with that. But anyways, it's like you don't get those issues, and you can drive a sedan pretty much everywhere. Like it's perfect. Whether in other states, it's like you can't do that all year round. On culture, I don't really know if I can speak too much on it. You definitely see a lot more of the Hispanic cultures because we're right next to Mexico, at least in San Diego County. That's what I've seen. But other than that, I'm not too sure. I don't really think I am able to speak on that.
Well, so my experience, again, in urban cities, like the big ones in the US, there's definitely a melting pot of cultures, like places like New York and Los Angeles, California. It's where everyone from different different countries or, you know, backgrounds come because of the opportunity. The opportunity is centered in those cities. Also, in big cities, they have little sections where certain, what do you say, cultures like to live and group together. So you'll have like Filipino town, you'll have Chinatown, Koreatown, just all of that. So you can definitely find different cultures melding together in the cities, especially in Los Angeles and New York.
On food, for me, all I know is that we have amazing Mexican food, and if you haven't tried it, and if you're visiting California, please try the Mexican food because it's so great.
Well, of course, because California, parts of it used to be Mexico. We're right beside, like you literally have like Baja California and you have Baja Mexico, you know, and then avocados, you know, there's plentiful here. So that, I think that's one of their secrets, it's the avocados.
Oh yeah, everybody eats avocados in California.
Big thing here.
I don't know if you want to add anything else to that.
Well, I do want to make a special note that talking about the nature here and the views here. The sunsets, they do have it's even more beautiful. I think it's more colorful, more oranges and pinks. It definitely has like a sunset uncomparable, I think. Depending on where you are in California, it's different. We have different topography. I love that you can have like the mountains and you can be skiing and then drive an hour and then be at the beach. And then we have we're close to the deserts inland. We have lakes like Lake Tahoe. We have all kinds of things. And I love that you can have all of that in California. And that's one of the biggest things that I love about living here. So I hope you loved this video. Please, again, don't forget to like and subscribe. We work really hard on these videos, and we would love to know what your thoughts are, what you want to know, or what you want to see next, all of that. I will also be posting Drea's YouTube link so you can follow her in the description below. And you can also follow us on Instagram. Don't forget to do that because we have exciting stuff on there that we might not necessarily cover in our channels. I also want to say a big thank you to Rehab Lab Official. They have amazing current hot fashion that is super urban and really stylish. They're opening their online retail store for the first time in December. Right now they only sell to wholesalers and resellers, all of that, but they again will be opening a retail shop, so it will be open to the public. I'm so excited. This jacket is from them. Big thank you. I love their stuff. You might want to check them out yourself. So when they post their official website, I will be updating the description of this video. As of now, I will post their Instagram. Much love, you guys. Hopefully I'll see you soon.